Oh yeah, we're back in the spot. Sun's out, tea's brewing. Flavor of the day is lemon and ginger. This is a newbie. And it's delicious. Incense burning. Surf's on again. It's a pretty heavy norwest wind today. Tide's dropping as the swell is, but if you were out there this morning, it was around 4 to 5 foot on the points. It's dropped a little bit now, it's probably 2 to 3. But if you can get to any one of the points today, so you're a little bit more protected from the wind, you'll get waves. Yeah, there's waves to be had there. All right. Nature. I'm really loving winter. I don't think I had the appreciation for the seasonal change like I do now. It's forced me to slow down. It's forced me to work a little bit more inward. And just to appreciate that when winter comes around, just embrace it. Same as spring, same as summer, same as autumn. Just embrace it. Embrace what nature is giving you. Receive what nature is providing, and you'll simply thrive. Before we get started, I want to read a little piece from the Tao Te Ching. It's a bit sandy. All right. Fame or integrity? Which is more important? Money or happiness? Which is more valuable? Success or failure? Which is more destructive? If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never truly be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. Powerful. Okay. Do you have freedom when it comes to health, or are you trapped in a system? Let's dive into that today. I think about the word freedom quite often. Freedom with your health, freedom with your time, location freedom. And that word sounds powerful, freedom. But I think there's something so beautiful in that. Do I have freedom with my health? Do I have freedom with my body? Am I free to explore movements? Do I have full access to my energy, my mental health, my gut health? And is everything feeling like it's in flow? Do I have freedom in the location that I live? Do I have freedom financially? Do I have freedom? And I think when you ask people what they're chasing or what their dreams are, freedom comes up quite a lot. But let's stay in the realm of health today. Do you have freedom with your health? Or are you trapped in a system? And there are so many systems that we could potentially be stuck in. And I'll speak into a couple of those today. But rather than me speaking about whether or not these systems are good or bad, you have to ask yourself the question, if you're feeling stuck in one of these systems, is that serving me for the now and for the future? Because I do believe they all have their place. And there's always room for growth, but ultimately what we're looking to achieve, only in my truth and my values, is freedom. So let's speak into the most common system that we could be stuck in or trapped in when it comes to health. Now, the reason we have such a big belief that this system works, or this is the only system we can turn to, is because of conditioning, belief systems, programming, the norm. And that system is the conventional medical system. And again, it has its place. But when it comes to your health, maybe it's not the most optimal choice. Let's dive into it. So, from a young age, I know I was led to believe, and most of us are probably led to believe, that whenever you are faced with a health dysfunction, health complication, soreness, pain, any mental health, any physical health, maybe even emotional health dysfunctions or limitations, we go to the doctor. Book yourself into the doctor and go have a chat. Now, maybe it was a little bit different some years ago, but from what I'm led to believe now, that doctor has only got between 5 to 8 minutes with you. Now, when I was young, I probably remember it might have been a little bit longer. Maybe it was more like 10 to 15 minutes. But when you go into the doctor, it's, all right, tell me what's going on, and you quickly tell your story, and there's no further questions. It's, all right, cool, I feel like I know what's going on. No tests need to be done here, or you do all the testing, but everything's all good, and nothing's wrong, or everything's wrong, and here's medication. All right, all good, I trust you. I start taking the medication, I go home. Maybe it moves the needle a little bit, maybe it doesn't. And so you're either going to find that it does move the needle, but then what follows is more symptoms or completely different symptoms, or everything stays the same. But usually what happens is we go, ooh, and now we're back in that system. We're back to the doctors. Hey, doc, it improved, but now I've got all these other symptoms. Or, hey, it didn't improve at all. If it did improve, but now there's all these other symptoms, here's some more medication to mask the symptoms from the first medication. Sounds fair, does it? Or, nothing's changed. Okay, well, let's do some blood work. Blood work comes back. Nothing to see here. All good. Or, it's looking like you've got this, so we'll chuck you on some other medication. And so there's no solution, rather it's just masking symptoms. And so then you leave the doctor once again feeling frustrated, feeling confused, feeling cloudy. And lo and behold, we end back up in that system. And remember, they have their place, but when it comes to your health, we have to ask, is that system's number one intention your health? Because my truth is, they don't make money if you're healthy. They don't make money if you're dead. They only make money if you're sick. And so if you stay in that system, they're winning. And that's how it works. And so then you could kind of argue that, like, are there other systems that feed into that system? Big food, big pharma, of course, big tech. If we're addicted to big tech, we're probably going to end up with a few more health complications back in that system. If we, only rely on big food, big supermarket chains for our health, then we probably end up back in the conventional system because, again, are the big chain supermarkets, are they wanting you to be healthy? I don't know. You ask yourself that question. But we can appreciate that in the big food system, not a lot of it's actual food. The veggies and the fruits are sprayed with chemicals. The meat and the fresh produce section is commercially farmed, mass production, and then everything else in the aisles is just genetically modified packaged junk. So, and don't get me wrong, I think the big food industry is like slowly changing in a way. Like when I do go in there and I look, I'm like, I feel like there's this micro shift happening at a very micro level, but only if you choose to see it. Like the way that I choose to see it, I'm like, oh, there's like 5% in those supermarkets that are actual quality health foods. And so we can kind of see there's a few different systems here. But if we think about those systems and freedom of our health, freedom of choice, freedom of energy, freedom of life, is that freedom? I'm not sure. Again, I want you to bring awareness to where you're currently at. If you're feeling like you're stuck in this system, maybe it's time to change, or maybe it's time to simply bring awareness to whether or not it's serving you now and for the future. And so that's probably the most normal system. Now, let's move into the alternative realm of health. Alternative doctors, alternative practitioners, naturopaths, health coaches, the alternative health space. And what a beautiful space it is. And again, if we speak to the right people and their intention is for you to have true freedom with your health, this realm can be one that you could possibly stay in forever. But we have to ask, when we start to see some of these different people, practices, whether or not their intention is for you to be healthy or their intention is for you to stay in that system. Let's dive deep into it. So usually the story goes along like, I've been to the doctor, I've tried all the things, I'm coming and seeing you, I'm in the alternate realm, I don't want to choose that world anymore. Okay, cool. Now, most likely you'll go through some kind of blood work, and instead of now being told that you don't have anything wrong, you may all of a sudden be told that now you have everything wrong. And all of a sudden it can be even more daunting and confronting to be like, I didn't think there was anything wrong, but I didn't feel optimal. Now I'm being told everything's wrong. Whoa, doom and gloom, holy shit. No wonder I felt like this, because I've just been told I've got this, and this. I've got this condition, it's autoimmune, it's SIBO, it's this, it's that. And it's like, whoa, holy shit. What am I going to do? All good, I've got you. It's now time for you to go on this crazy ass diet, take all of these supplements, give up everything in your life, and follow this 20-week protocol without any freedom attached to it, and it's dialed in. You've got to be doing the thing, doing the protocol. It's breath work, it's grounding, it's this diet, it's these supplements, and then you got all the different phases of supplements, and you got this, and you got that, and you got this, and you can't drink anymore, and you can't eat this, and it's like, whoa. I've just gone from like the conventional world where I kind of was just like, doing whatever, and, I was trusting the doctor with my health and it wasn't really working. I was eating from big food and, I was using big tech and doing all these things. And now I'm kind of in this world where everything's dialed into a protocol. So that's a big stepping stone. That's a big change. And okay, sure, you may start to feel a lot better, but is the goal for you to then have freedom, or is the goal for you to stay on this diet, stay always relying on supplements, stay in this kind of zoomed in, hyper focused way of living when it comes to your health? Again, it's definitely going to move the needle. Well, it should. Maybe it doesn't. Because yes, it's definitely a huge step up from where you were to where you are now. You're now taking, functional supplements, you're eating functional health foods, you're doing all the things, but you still feel a little bit trapped. Surely I can't stay on this diet forever. Surely I can't be spending $2,000 a month on supplements every single month. Surely I don't need to do every single biohack under the sun every single day for the rest of my life. And so that's when we have to ask, is that system designed to keep you in it? Or is that system designed for you to have ultimate freedom with your health? And so then we kind of move into a realm that's not even a system, and that's true freedom when it comes to health. And the way I like to guide people, challenge people, empower people, is not for them to follow a rigid protocol, but for them to start to make choices based on their own intuition for their health, their happiness, their freedom. Because every single human being is different, and the way I believe it should be done is the protocol should naturally build itself throughout the experience and the energy exchange of practitioner, health coach, teacher, guide, and client, person, student. That's not to say that in freedom we don't have some systems and some structures, but the ultimate goal is for that individual to feel so empowered that they're not following any system. They're following their heart, they're following their psyche, they're following their intuition, and they're listening to their truth. And again, that's not me saying that you don't need help, because help is so important. Seeing a guide, seeing a practitioner, seeing a health coach is so important, but you have to understand when it comes to choosing one of those, we have to feel whether or not their intention is for me to have true freedom with my health. And so there are many other systems that we could potentially be stuck in, and I don't think it's necessary to go through them all today, but I want you to again bring awareness to where you're currently at with your health. Am I getting closer to true freedom, or am I trapped in a system? I've mentioned in other videos before why I believe health is in the place it is right now is because of distractions, is because of the modern world, is because of too much information. I'm really starting to notice now that I'm off social media how much time I have, how much freedom I have, how much more health I have access to. Because when you remove yourself from all the distractions, remove yourself from any system, come out to nature, give yourself time, give yourself space, I truly believe that you have all the answers to your health that you need. Or at least you know the direction that feels most aligned to your truth. And so, if we look at the journey of these videos so far, they all kind of align with each other. And I wanted to speak into something quickly as well, is my intention with these videos is not to give you answers, give you more information. Rapid information, do this, don't do that. My intention with these videos is to simply have a conversation and to speak a language that's slowed down, and for you to understand that you don't need to have everything all figured out right away. You don't need more information, but you need to start listening to yourself, and you need to start listening to the people that speak your truth. So again, if you're feeling stuck, a little lost on your health journey, maybe it is time for us to have a conversation. Maybe it's time for you to join my free stream of consciousness. But remember, my mission, my passion, my purpose is not to be the guy with all the information. It's to be the guide and the mirror for you to see who you truly are, and that you have everything you need, you just don't see it yet. Man, I love it out here. I was thinking the other day, like, how good it has been to film these videos in winter. But I'm like, how good's it going to be filming these videos in summer? Bright days, good lighting, sunset, sunrise. I could be out here all day, and I will be. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Can't wait for the next one. And as always, peace and love.